ti fi ojú lápá ìgbà òru ní ẹ̀yẹ dànù. Ọmọ Adéyẹmọ tó pọ̀ wọ́n bá tiẹ̀ ọmọ ọgọ́lógún máa lè. Ìwọ náà ní bàbá tó tó dé àsìkò bí ọba ṣe sí ẹja fọ kí ní bẹ nínú ọ̀gán ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ti dún màwúrú bí ọba ní kọ́ pani bí ọba ní pani kó yóò dún màwúrú. Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ó ti di bí àná yìí yé ẹjẹ ìjọba bẹ́ẹ̀ mú ewé kókò tó bá lè bí ọmọ bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá fẹ́ fọ̀yà kó máa fọ̀yà gbèrègbèrè sàǹgbọ́rọ̀ máa fọ́ ẹni bá wọ bẹ́ ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ti di bí àná yìí bákẹ́ o ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ìgbé òòṣà yé orí ìyá pé ọmọ Yorùbá àtàtà ọmọ ọkọ̀ ní ọ̀hún ṣéun bẹ́ẹ̀ lọmọ bọ́ọ̀sì ìwọ lọ́pàá gàmbàrí nípa ìsìn Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ọ̀pá gàmbàrí nípa ìsìn Sunday kò òòṣà yé ẹ̀dá bàbá rẹ lọ òrò ọmọ kẹlá mo lẹ́nilé mo sùn lẹ́ẹ̀kan ọmọ ajá tẹ̀yẹ̀ lé ìdá bàbá rẹ mo dé mo dà ní òde wọ́n di méjì bá rẹ̀ ta àrùn mo di méjì bá rẹ̀ àgàdà yín ó di méjì bá rẹ̀ gbẹ̀dínlógún ó kan ilà àárọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ní gbogbo ilé wa àgàdà nínú bí àwọn rẹ̀ ọmọ gbẹ́dọ̀ ọlọ́kọ̀ ilé ti sọ́wọ́ àkọ́níṣẹ́ ọlọ́kọ̀ ilé ti gbàlẹ̀ ọmọ Adéyẹmọ Sunday ọ̀pọ̀ sàmà kú ogun ní nánilógún ogun lórí ilé àárọ̀ ògùn ni wọ́n fi jagun bí wọ́n jẹ́ bó gùn wọ̀nyí ẹjẹ́ nínú wọn ló gùn náà Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho ọ̀sà ló ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá gbòmìnira dandan ni máa wá gbọ́ o àṣẹ ìlànà lọ́dùnmọ́ rẹ̀ ọmọ àlọ́ ọmọ Adéyẹmọ dákun mọ́rin àwọn oníṣẹ́ ẹ̀tọ́ kálukú mọ́ fi dùn wọ́n orí kálukú ló kú ẹ̀dẹ́kọ̀ tó kù wọ́n máa gbọ́ o gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tàtà ẹ̀tọ́ wá lóye ẹja fọwọ́pọ̀ káàkiri ẹni tó wá fi ṣe káàkiri lárugẹ gidi ni ẹni méjì wọ̀ wọn ò dùn ẹjọ́ òròdù lọ sí ibà méjì kó ẹni tó wá fi ṣe ọ̀gẹ́dọ̀ sí ẹni tó fi ara wọn Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ tó fi ara tiwa akọni jagunjagun ọkùnrin tààrà gbọdọ̀ kẹlẹ́ ọmọ Adéyẹmọ wọn máa gbọ́n fẹ́ sàgbàkan fún wọn ni ẹni tó bá ní kó òkú ní kékeré kó máa fọwọ́ náà síra wọn wọ́n ní kàkọ́ máa ṣe àrẹ̀ kó dànù ìmọ̀jọ́ ayọ́yẹ pọ̀ ní kú lọ́wọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ gbá kékeré tó kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ìdáhọ̀ ilé ọmọ gbẹ̀yìn àgbẹ̀dẹ òsì pàtàkì òní kúrò òdòkó tẹ̀ máa gbọ́ àwọn bàbá rẹ tó ti wà nínú pé ìdájọ́ wọn máa fọwọ́ tí ó gẹ́gẹ́ ni àwọn alágbára jagun tí wọ́n ní jagun ṣáájú ilẹ̀ Yorùbá wọn máa fi ọ́ tí ó gẹ́gẹ́ ni Oòduà ọlọ́fin ọba àtàlà máṣọ́rọ́ àjàká àjàngàtìẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹ̀fọ́fọ̀ fẹ́rí lánàfọ́fúnlá òun náà lẹ́rú ọmọdékùnrin ìjọba aborílá aboríkùnkù alùpùpù àbá òkèdè gbé ẹgbẹ́ kúrò lè jẹ́ sàgbó. Máa gbọ́dọ̀ sẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ń bọ̀ ṣàkóso tí mọ́ọ̀kùn náà yà wáyé náà ọmọ Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho sáńpolo tí gbòtìgbòtì tiẹ̀ ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ lárúkú lọ́nù gbọ́dọ̀ rí ijó òkun náà yà ọ̀sẹ̀ pààyàn kẹ́ni máa ń dè bàbá rẹ lọ òrùkàtàrí gbàgbà kẹ́ni máa ń dè bàbá rẹ lọ alárúgbó parúmọ́ Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ní oṣù olùkọ́ ní gbangba Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ó ti dìbò bọ́ọ̀dù ó ti wà lókè ẹ̀ nẹ́bà ní ọjà kọ́kọ́ máa kú ni máa gbọ́ o tó orí má bẹ̀rù ọ̀tẹ̀ mọ́ orí ní gbogbo fùrùfùrù labalábá tí wọ́n ń dìbò lẹ́kùn Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho ọ̀sà orí ni wọ́n ti wọ́n sọ àkísà máa gbọ́ o yẹ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá àtàtà àtàbá lóye àkọ́dà ayé ọgbọ́n ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ní káàkówọ́tì àti ìdẹ́bi tó lágbẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹ̀dá àkọ́tẹ̀ẹ́lẹ̀ èmi tó ẹ̀wọ̀ ọkùnrin kò lè gbé wa débi kankan pa àkọ́dà ayé ọgbọ́n ẹ̀dá àkọ́kọ̀ ká bí ẹni tó lọ́wọ́ pẹ́pẹ́sẹ́ lárugẹ ni ẹ máa bá wọn ní ẹbọ ìgbésẹ̀ wọn lọ fẹ́ràn òní ni igi igbó sórí ipò wọn dìgbẹ́ ẹ̀rí ni àwọn àgbàlagbà wọn ní bí orí bá dúró tán inú téèyàn ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ gan ni Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ yẹ ọjọ́ burúkú tó lágbẹ̀rẹ̀ ní ṣùgbọ́n àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́rú tó ẹ̀ mo ò lè mú jẹ́ ẹ̀. má ṣe pé ṣùgbọ́n nu rẹ̀ ohun tó ọba kan sátábà ní àbọ̀ ìmọ̀lẹ̀ thank you. àrò ọ̀rọ̀ mọ gbogbo tó ọba ti àrò ọ̀rọ̀ mọ àwọn tó mú gbọ́dọ̀ ò ná wáyé má ṣe pé o ṣùgbọ́n má jẹnu rẹ̀ ó gbófò gbogbo tó ọba pátápátá àrò ní ọmọ àrò mọ wọ́n máa fèkìsè lọ́lé wọ́n máa fèyí sí lọ́rọ́ lé wa kì í ṣe é mọ̀ wọ́n lè bí ilé rẹ̀ wípé ìtàkùn ní ìwòsàn lápẹẹrẹ lágbájá ní tàmẹ́dọ́ ní ìmọ̀lẹ́ akéwìrì ọmọ wọn lọ́gùn mọ̀ṣọ́ àjílété mo bọ́lúwa mi dúpẹ́ mọ́ ẹrù àgbà.
Self-determination is not a crime. Ẹ fọkàn yín balẹ̀ ẹ̀yin mídíà wa tẹ́ wà nílé. There is no need for us to be in panic. There's no need for us to be in fear. We're in Tagbedani, terrorism. We are fighting for the right, just as the Scottish are doing the same thing. So, Moki Mogwa, a very good morning and welcome to a light broadcast. And Entoba Montankweni light, that means very light, because it's been a very busy weekend and we are still recovering from all our broadcasts and the ones that we have been doing after the weekend. So today is just a very light broadcast, just for us to enjoy. And everybody knows Wednesday is also a very busy day for me. I have a lot. I decided to stay back home. I have some other plans, but I don't want to give those plans out. Àyà máa já fún mi ní tẹ́ bá ti rí mi báyìí. Àyà máa já ẹ̀yin tẹ́ fẹ́ sọ ìrìn àjò yìí di terrorism àwa lọ́wọ́. UK lèmi ń gbé. So, and the UK doesn't like terrorists. Àwọn ọ̀dẹ̀ ń ṣe terrorist. So tẹ́ bá fi pé ẹ máa convert Tagbedani sí terrorist ìrọ̀lẹ́ pa. Ní fún yín láyè yẹn láíláí. Wọ́n bọ̀ it's a lot too fast. It's a lot too fast. Yeah, let's go answer me. Iṣẹ́ wa fúnlẹ̀ wa. For you ladies. Tagbega. Ìgbàgbọ́. Láti bẹ̀rù. Àṣìṣe. Ìṣọ̀kan. Nìkẹ́jẹ́. Tẹ̀síwájú. Ọ̀pọ̀ ire. Àtúntò tó dára. Ọmọ Odùduwà. Bọ́ sí ipò. Ìwọ ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Àwa ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Mo kí gbogbo wa, happy Wednesday as we are now on number 5 day of the month of July. Àwọn dagboru mo ti rí respond ní díẹ̀díẹ̀. Ẹ fẹ́ sọ ìrìn àjò mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́, ẹ fẹ́ sọ di terrorist. Ẹ mọ̀ pé UK lèmi gbé. Èmi mọ definition terrorist. So, and we must continue to tell, especially the UK government, èmi ọmọ ìlú mi, I am operating from UK. And the last thing the United Kingdom wants me to do, ẹ fẹ́ mu coffee, ẹ máa sanwó ni o, ẹ tó bá fẹ́ ra coffee fún mi. Ó dáa kó àwọn back end mi gan ṣe ń sùn. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa around the world. Àwọn media wa tó wà nílé ni mo fẹ́ really direct message àárọ̀ yìí sí pé kó fọkàn wọn balẹ̀. Gbogbo wọn pátápátá. Ẹ fọkàn yín balẹ̀. Tí Dúpẹ́ bá gbé any other steps, tó ń ju steps tí a ti rí lọ, we know what to do and we know what we are going to do, especially for somebody like me that lives in UK. I don't have to tell anybody what I'm going to do. But the most important thing is the United Kingdom, America, the European Union. I received a call this morning as well from somewhere in Europe. Very, very high-end call. But it's not for public consumption. There are a lot of people that are watching and they are following what we are doing. And they're expecting that we will follow the rules and the guideline. The rules might not be everything that we will follow, but like I said, I've not taken that out of my booklet. No, I've not. But I am not the one leading the movement. We have a leader, and we will respect our leaders in a movement. Our leaders were about exhaust means to exhaust. We've not really exhausted everything. We have not done a lot in terms of trying to tell the world. Mokiyami Wura Yoruba Nimi, àwọn yẹn ṣiṣẹ́ dáadáa lórí Twitter. As many Yoruba people are not engaged on Twitter, Nnamdi Kanu is trending at 17.4K tweet this morning. The British is trending at 155,000 tweet. Southeast is trending. And I believe because of so many things that is happening in the Southeast. We can never be one, and we will never be one. I can't be mentioning name because I only have 1 hour and a half, roughly, for this broadcast. So generally, there's no time to be mentioning all the names. And it's a very, very light broadcast anyway. So most important thing is our media the international community is monitoring every details of what we are doing, every details. Whether one person is talking, 3 person is not talking, 5 people are talking, but we need to just let them understand that we are not fighting to bring terrorism into Nigeria. That is not the agenda of the self-determination. Self-determination is different from terrorism. 2 different things entirely. And we are not also hijacking of trying to hijack the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Tinubu at some point was living as in exile in UK here, Ogbeni exile, when Abacha wanted to eliminate him. At the moment, Tinubu has not sent anybody to come and kill anybody within the Yoruba self-determination movement. But we know that Buhari did so under the Buhari's government. At the moment, until Tiabari pe wọ́n lọ attack ìkànnà àwọn èèyàn wa, which we hope it's not going to happen. Because the government now is different from the previous government. But we don't know what his own aims and agenda are. But I am 100% sure that Tinubu knows what is called the right to self-determination. Because at some point, evidence also pointed, which he also stated, that he doesn't believe in Nigeria. So if Tinubu says he doesn't believe in Nigeria, at some point, we have also sent him a 7-page letter to highlight why we are asking for what we are asking for. He doesn't have to respond now. That is his own cup of tea, not our own. But this, Tiba Bakitoye call, ó ti cover gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń béèrè fún the right to self-determination, as long as you are working towards not making it a violent movement. Àwa tí a dẹ̀ dúró pẹ̀lú bàbá wa, Professor Banji Akintoye, are going in line in accordance with these. But as me, as a personal person, I can always say that yes, that is not the statement from Baba Akintoye. And I have the right to say that. Literally, I know, based on what I have learned and what I have read. So that is something that a lot of you are mixing up together. Mix it. You are mixing my own phrase. I am a media. Baba Akintoye is not a media. He's a professor. and he's a professor of history. And as a professor of history, he will tell us how bí a ṣe máa gba Yorùbá nation. But as a media, èmi náà sọ ọ̀nà tí a lè fi gbà, but we must follow our leader, because kò sí bí ẹ ṣe fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan kí ló dé tí gbogbo ṣe ń follow Bible, tẹ́ ń follow Christian, tẹ́ ń follow ìṣẹ̀ṣe, tẹ́ ń follow Mùsùlùmí. Ṣáàrí Ànábì Muhammad rí sallallahu alaihi wasallam ẹgbẹ́ pàdé rí. Rírí náà. Gbogbo tí Ànábì sọ, òun lẹ́ ṣe kí ni, òun lẹ́ ń follow. So the reason why we are having to follow Baba Akintoye is because we believe in his own vision and mission on how the Yoruba nation self-determination is going to happen. So when people are now saying that Yoruba nation, tí à ń ṣe ọ̀nà wo la fẹ́ fi gbà, báwo ló ṣe máa wáyé, báwo la ṣe máa gbà, is because you are not following the instruction by the leader of the movement. And also, because so many people are also trying to do things in their own ways. And nobody that differentiates here in their own ways, ó máa contradict tí Baba Akintoye gbé dání. Because tí Baba Akintoye gbé dání, òun ni pé a fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹ̀tọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ government in Nigeria and the international community. But it is not going to be in a violent way. But I, as a Koiki media, I can tell you that based on the past history of people that have got their own self-determination, they have always been fighting. I can give you from East Timor to South Sudan to Soviet Union. Even as much as Soviet Union break, there was still a little bit of stiff between the government and the people. So the fact that people are thinking that Yoruba nation, Dani, it is now becoming where we are confronting the federal government. No, we are not confronting the federal government. We are only telling the federal government that our right to self-determination will be respected. And it's going to happen whether the government likes it or not, because the government will have to, at some point, sit with us and negotiate with us. Pé ọ̀nà wo la fẹ́ gbà ká fẹ́ fi kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà. So the fact that people think that àwọn máa wá change ìtagbédání ẹ fi wá sọ di terrorism lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́, that we would not accept. And that is why we are stating it clearly all the time, that what we are asking for is different from what Dupe Onitiri is asking for, because she's not asking for the same thing, because she has a different motive. Her motive is completely a different agenda. So, but as many of our people are still not understanding in terms béèrè fún gangan, ẹlòmíì kò gbọ́ pé à ń pariwo Yorùbá nation, so that means pé in terms pariwo yẹn, and that is why we are saying to especially ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílé, understanding yín lórí ìrìn àjò yìí is a very, very low understanding, and we cannot blame you for that, because kò síbi kankan yàtọ̀ sí àwọn Biafra tí wọ́n pariwo láti 2017. Àwọn tó pariwo lọ́dọ̀ tiwa, somebody like George Akinola and Victor Taiwo. Nobody heard about Comrade Victor Taiwo in Nigeria. Yes, he said he was fighting for Yoruba nation. He has his own template. But nobody heard about him until Yoruba nation under the leadership of Professor Banji Akintoye. Ìgbà yẹn la rí Comrade Victor Taiwo. Nobody heard about him. Yes, he was doing some skimpy things around. He was attending maybe 1 or 2 different radio interviews that he never had money where they would bring him on board. But right now, we also bring him out to the limelight. Yes, some people have been asking that this country cannot be restructured. We had it from George Kakiola. So what we are asking for today is something that Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself knows very well, that the only option, the only thing that we have right now is to either for him to listen to us so that we can decide whether we all still want to be in this union called Nigeria. And nobody can force anybody. We have passed the stage that you can say, I'm not forcing you, we're going to force you to stay and live together. That is before. It is not going to happen this time around. That is the reason why we all have brains. That is the reason why, the world is allowing everybody to become who they want to be. We have LGBT. They have their right. LGBT, you better Google it. If the LGBT they are giving their right, we must also be given our right. And that is why we are saying that this is a complete different thing from people that have the ideology to become terrorists and they are terrorizing people. We are not using the media to terrorize even those that disagree with us. Allah Omo Yoruba, Tony, I want to Yoruba nation. I want to vote. And they end up voting. Nobody stopped them. And that was why an election was conducted, even though the European Union have come out to say that election is a shambles. And I read what Femi Kayode, responded back to them. And we know the way he responded anyway. Because Femi Kayode does not like the West. Tobanentiko like our West. Femi Kayode is one of them. Maybe some of you don't know. And let me just remind you. This is Bola Ahmed Tinubu's statement. I printed it out so that only while in record. I like, journalists like to feel something in his hand. We don't like a lot of soft copy. This is Bola Ahmed Tinubu stating clearly, which I will try to be part of that he does not believe in Nigeria. And I don't think anybody, asked him why. So if Babaketoye bounce off our lane, we do not believe in that vision of Nigeria anymore because it is not for any reason. Saying it is our right. This is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This is what he said. So the record is there. Maybe when he was saying it, he never thought he would be the president of Nigeria. Mama Sobe Oshimadi Are Lojola. And maybe he has his own reason why he decided that he doesn't want to be the president. Why he doesn't believe in Nigeria. This is it there. I don't believe in one Nigeria. Even in exile, he is remaining one of the most consistent pro-democracy activists. Bola Tinubu himself was an activist. So whatever we are doing today is also classified as an activist. So Bola Tinubu cannot now say, our media ki Ribadu, the new NSA, to go and attack them. When they have the bandit, the Boko Haram, the ISIS to deal with, that should be their concentration to make life easy for Nigerians. While everybody is still deciding how to negotiate out of this contraction called Nigeria. But what people are thinking is, maybe Kalo attack Bola Tinubu. No. We're not going to attack. Why should we go and attack the government? We have the right to be on the street and protest. We have the right to civil disobedience. We have the right to communicate with him. We have the right to negotiate with him. But the last thing we're not going to do is to operate like the bandit. We are not bandits. The bandits are the ones that are kidnapping Nigerians and taking it for ransom. We are not bandits. There's two different things between the self-determination and the Boko Haram, the self-determination and the ISIS, the self-determination and those that have a different ideology. Ideology that is the same thing that Bola Tinubu was saying here. I don't believe in one Nigeria. Bola Tinubu, he stated it. So why are we now trying to be like, it's because there's another person called Dúpẹ́ Onítìrí tó fẹ́ instigate ìtàgbédání, ó fẹ́ inject ọ̀rọ̀ bíi violent terrorism. Look, there's different violence. Violent tó ń fẹ́ gbé wá is a different thing from the violence of pé àwa lójú títì wọ́n yìnbọn pa wá and we reacted. That's a different thing. The reason why you saw Paris or the whole of France in chaos for more than 5 days, the whole country was in anarchy, was because somebody was killed. If we could not even push that after the death of Adogon and Alhaji Fatai inside the residence of Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho on the 1st of July 2021, that shows that we are still people that believe in what they call a non-violent. Because the expectation of so many people on that day was like, every Yoruba will come out and there will be destruction, there will be killings. But no, we did not even go through that route. So why then should we allow somebody, for no reason, we don't even know, what she has at the back of her mind, to now come and inject this other violence of because we refuse to accept a nonsense that she's portraying as Yoruba Nation or Ominira or whatever she's calling, because she's not doing Yoruba Nation. And it's not today. We have told you that. Conscience in want to infiltrate the movement. Even during Nelson Mandela, the movement was infiltrated. So the fear, where Jagaban, again, pin Jagaban Mobiba, Boniking Bessie, I'm okay, right? I'm relocate, again, Musala Tipua. Oh, no, Sapon will believe in one Nigeria. At some point, only Nigeria is not to be believed because Abaka fake Panima. But now, he's now the president. So his belief is now different because Bola Tinubu now is the president. And don't expect Bola Tinubu as the president to now tell you, breaking Nigeria like that. It's not going to happen. Bola Tinubu is not going to tell you that. Everybody knows that. Kódà tó bá ń sọ yẹn nínú kọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ kò gbọ́dọ̀ sọ síta because in tó sọ fún gbogbo Nàìjíríà ni pé I am your president to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So let's just put it there like that. Okay? So Kelima will look in. So at some point, this man, I don't believe in one Nigeria. That's what he said. So Kilowade tí àwa ń sọ nísìn pé àwa náà believe in one Nigeria. So we don't expect Bola Tinubu to bring out DSS láti máa fi lọ threaten àwọn èèyàn wa láti lọ fi máa. No. We don't expect him to do such. And we know that as much as our part is two different things, his own part now is different because nígbà tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí kò mọ̀ pé òun máa di ààrẹ ìyẹn Federal Republic of Nigeria. Ọ̀bí akọni lọ́kàn tó kàn sọ yẹn nígbà yẹn. I don't know. Nobody knows. Because he sat with his friends, with his all colleagues under the Nadeco. They had a lot of discussion. They set up Kudurat Radio. They were doing a lot of things during that period of time. But now, we are not even in the military era anymore. We are in a civilian government. Even as much as we disagree with Nigeria, we disagree that we don't want Nigeria, does not mean that we will not be people that cannot sit on the round table and have conversation as in the job military. So the expectation that people think that when we mention Bola Tinubu means that we support him is not the way. It is just the way that the diplomat works. It's called diplomacy. You can't just say because you want a country and then and that country, you will just, invade that country. You can't. You don't even have the manpower to do so. The only manpower we have is our people, and our people are still not listening. One and one, Yoruba nation, one in Nigeria, so we must continue to give them all the reason. If Bola Tinubu can tell you then, just stay there. So, and you can see him there. He is the one that wrote, he granted the interview. So if Bola Tinubu granted that interview at that particular time, saying that we won't believe in one Nigeria, Nigeria is not working. So fast forward, maybe 24 years after, he's now saying that, I love Nigeria. I'm a campaign new. Emi ati Shetima. Ajomashe government new. And nobody disagree with that. But the only thing we are saying is that as at the time that Bola Tinubu was saying this, after, he's now saying, he says, I won't believe. So when we are now saying to our people, I understand the fear. Because because the same route. Táwa náà ń lọ ìyàtọ̀ kan ní pé òun ò parí route yẹn òun tún bọ́lẹ̀ láàrin méjì because ó padà lọ ṣe governor ní 2007 after tó kúrò ní 1999 rather because tó bá yẹ pé ó dúró lórí route yẹn ni tó bá jẹ́ pé wọ́n fún láyè kó di gómìnà ní 1999 probability wà pé òun gan máa ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ self determination but nígbà tó ti lọ ṣe government that means pé ó gbọ́dọ̀ tempo díẹ̀ wálẹ̀ kò lè máa gbé ariwo táwa ń gbé yìí nítorí pé nígbà tó lọ ṣe ní tó fi lè mú tó fi ṣe governor yẹn ní the beginning nígbà tó fi ṣe governor ní 1999 whether it was put there by whatever however it happened I don't care but it was a governor in 1999 and that means that bóun ṣe máa sọ̀rọ̀ ó ti yàtọ̀ sí bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ nísìn Don't expect Bola Tinubu to be talking the way I am talking. Because Bola Tinubu, then as a governor, will not now come out and say, yes, he might be having issue with Obasanjo. Obasanjo was a PDP. He was AD or whatever they were doing then. I can't remember because I didn't follow the politics of Nigeria that much. But what we can say categorically is that now that he became the governor, he has to now tempo a little bit down. But by now, I mean, you can't say you don't believe in Nigeria anymore when you have become the governor. Then what is the purpose of? But it didn't when you say vote for is because Worry as an actor, Latile Southwest. So, and he started using the state to inject his own ideology. These are people that do meetings late night almost every day because they have a different mission. And that mission was president. I'm not saying this before even Yoruba Nation campaign came out. Even if somebody like Comrade Victor Taiwo was meeting with Bola Tinubu and the rest of them, one need to know. Because Comrade Victor Taiwo says he has been shouting Yoruba Nation, nobody's going to listen to him because as at that time, we have Bola Tinubu as the governor of Lagos State and his whole idea was that he wants now to become a president. Ó ti mọ̀ yẹn tipẹ́tipẹ́ kò ń ṣe pé àná ni Bola Tinubu mọ̀ pé òun fi ṣe president. Bola Tinubu ti mọ̀ pé òun máa ṣe president kò ń ṣe lánàá kò ń ṣe lénìí. Ó ti mọ̀ yẹn. Once again, Yoruba Nation is not terrorist. We are not. Look, if we are terrorists, Atima kidnap one, we'll have kidnapped you and take ransom. You can hear what Yerima is saying. Yerima wants to fún Tinubu ní sìn pé kó jọ kó tempo justice nítorí pé àwọn bandits yẹn their poverty is because of ignorance, and that is why they are doing what they are doing. So that means pé àwa táwọn sọ pé a fẹ́ Yoruba Nation, we are not going that route. So what should the government of today? I'm not talking about the previous government. Look, the previous government is gone now. We are talking about the new government, and that is why Baba Akintoye wrote a letter to Bola. Wrote a letter to Bola Ahmed Tinubu telling him exactly reason why we do not believe anymore in Nigeria and he should set up a committee to sit with us and dialogue, because Bola Tinubu was only lucky to return back to Nigeria. Hey, imagine to buy Abacha oku, Bola Tinubu is likely to came at in London. Katima discuss and come meet Mr. Bola Tinubu, Baba, Ebomi, this and that. I am talking about if Abacha did not die, and by the time Temi Day UK in 1998, because Bola Tinubu just left Nigeria after I came to UK. Literally, by the time he fled the UK, the Bola Tinubu check out. So you can see the comparison. But if Abacha did not die, as at the time Abacha Aku, I will meet this man, because at some point, whether we like it or not, because this is London. London is a very small place. One way or the other, whether through a friend or through, and I mean, I don't want to go into other details, but I can tell you that I want to close money that one in London. We know them. I know those that were very close. One more program in the UK. But we got a meeting in London. To prepare for AD campaign. We want to Joba, Lagos State. And he also disappointed them. Evidence is there. But when he was going to become the governor, he didn't fulfill it. So many people that were together in their caucus that were discussing how they will put Lagos back into the mark. When he got there, he changed his mind. He did what he wanted to do. And that is why they say, power lele. And I've told you, and this is a statement I will be using now, power money only expiry date. Bola Tinubu expiry date is the first 2027, the first time to Kokogba. Just the same way to Lagos State. I mean, sure, okay, Koshe insisted, yes, definitely, it was, look, in Lagos State, especially in Lagos State, this ideology to one in mind, Bola Tinubu is our president. Look, yes, is our president for the period of a particular term. Lagos to ma install Oba mi leyin lori. I am talking about another governor, because he was able to do that in Lagos State because Omulo in Lagos State. Moki Wo TV. I can only appreciate only him. Emma Binetoku because of my timing. I'm very, very pressed with time this morning. So in Lagos State, federal, by the time his expiry date comes in, which is the first 4 years of 2027, Toba tu pada jade pe etuwa dibo another second time for me. Toba funi, because first and foremost, Okoko Bodo decide within their own caucus of the in case this line goes off, because this phone doesn't pick charging. You have to go on Koiki Media. I will not be able to start any other Instagram on that. So I've told you in advance. There's Koiki Media Instagram running. So you will not be able to understand that Bola Tinubu cannot do the same thing he did in Lagos State, where to install Raji after Toun he brought in Fashola. Fashola also performed. He tried his best in the little he can do. But reason Tinubu she low power here is because Tinubu lo ni Lagos State. Tinubu lo ni Lagos State. Kò sẹ́ni tó lè gba Lagos mọ́ lọ́wọ́ tó bá tẹ̀ fẹ́ gbà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Ó ti build the empire yẹn. Ó ti protect her. So he went and brought in Fashola. Fashola performed. After the Fashola she 8 years ton. She sọ fún Tinubu pé kó ṣe another 8 years lẹ́yìn ìgbà tó ṣe tán ní 2007. Kò lè ṣe nítorí pé constitution Nigeria ò granted. Kò ń ṣe China láwà. China ni president wọn tó wà níbẹ̀ nísìn, premier wọn Ọlọ́run ló mọdún tó ti wà níbẹ̀ nísìn. That is the difference between a communist state àti Intawan operate. Intawan operate ni pé Bola Tinubu máa bọ́lẹ̀ at some stage, which he did in 2007. So tẹ́ bá rò pé ó máa perform the same thing, pé ó máa install president mi lẹ́yìn lórí by the time tí expiry date bá tán irọ́ lẹ pa. It's not going to happen. No. So mo fi pé ẹ farabalẹ̀ ẹ ń gbọ́ nǹkan tí mo ń sọ ẹ̀. We are not against him because even himself, only mo ti lọ print ẹ̀ kẹ́ lè bá rí. He said it clearly. I don't believe. I-D-O-N-T, believe, B-E-L-I-E-V-E, in, I-N-1, O-N-E, Nigeria, N-I-G-E-R-I-A. Kí ló dé tí Bola Tinubu ṣe sọ pé wọ́n believe in one Nigeria? I don't know. Òun ló máa mọ reason. Bí a torí pé Abacha pa, bí a torí pé Abacha ó fẹ́, Abacha was ready to kill anybody. Olórí burúkú l'Abacha. Délé Momodu sada ó ya dànù ni. Délé Momodu tẹ́ rí nísìn. Nítorí ẹni pé kò ṣe fẹ́ dá sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation púpọ̀. Nítorí pé Délé Momodu náà ní òun ti wá struggle ní exile. Ó yẹ kóun wà ní Nàìjíríà. Kóun máa ṣe bí ọba tẹ́lẹ̀ ni. Òun ọba tí Délé Momodu ò rí jẹ, òun ló ń jẹ nísìn. That's why you see him all the time. He takes picture, he locks with them, because that is the kind of lifestyle they want to live. They are not interested in what we are discussing. So another breed of generation ló tún pariwo nísìn. Ariwo táwọn pa níjọ́ náà lọ ni pé nígbà ìdí tí Délé Momodu dé ṣe ń ṣe wàhálà ni pé ó ṣiṣẹ́ lábẹ́ MKO Abiola, ó sì ń lo orúkọ Abiola láti fi project tó ń ṣe nísìn. Tẹ́ bá lọ ka gbogbo àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀, a ní iṣẹ́ lóògùn iṣẹ́, ní MKO máa ń sọ nìyẹn. Irọ́ ló pa. Ó ti lo template Abiola nísìn, ó ti fi jẹun sókè. So tẹ́yìn bá wá lọ follow Délé Momodu, Délé Momodu ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ni wọ́n. Do bàbá kan ní kí n máa pe ẹ̀gbọ́n ló sì jẹ́ sí wa. I know him very well. I have, a good relationship with him. Mo ti bá wọn lọ sí Ovation rí, and I never get paid for that. I was in Ovation through Ìyá Àdúrà. Gbogbo ilẹ̀ mọ ìyá kan tó ń pè ní Ìyá Àdúrà. I was in Lagos in 2017 Christmas Ovation. Mo lọ ní 2018, 2019 ìgbà yẹn láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yoruba Nation. So for two consecutive times, I traveled to Nigeria to attend that event. Ìyá Àdúrà dẹ̀ sanwó fún mi. Gbogbo ẹni mo lè fi sọ. And Délé Momodu dẹ̀ sanwó fún mi. I just went there because it is the love that I have, for the media job I do. So intend you understand ni pé ẹ̀yin feel pé àwọn yẹn máa bá wa dá sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá Nation. No, àwa tún ní another set of people tó tún ti dìde nísìn. Bí Bọ́lá Tinubu, I don't know how many years Bọ́lá Tinubu spent in London. Àbúrò mi yé nísìn. Hello? Yeah. More online, definitely. Okay. Come on, lead wọn bọ̀. Kí sáré wọn bọ̀ tá máa lead àwọn tó máa dá Nàìjíríà rú. Ìbò dálẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ ni. Ìbò lè ní. Ó lè ní sáré wọn bọ̀ tá tẹ́lẹ̀ náà. Ó lè ní. Ó fẹ́ gbàgbára tó wà lọ́wọ́ Ìgbòho ni. So no problem. Kó lọ kó àwọn ibi tó fi kó wá. Ìbò láwọn ọmọ tó ń lò tó fi wá gbó lọ́wọ́ diaspora. Táwọn diaspora náà tí gbogbo ta fọ́ọ̀lì fún tó náà ọmọ kan wà lẹ́gùá kíní kan Ìgbòho. Ó lè ní gbogbo ẹ̀. Ó lè ní gbogbo ẹ̀. So kó gba owó lọ́wọ́ àwọn èèyàn ní tìrì. Kó lọ kó wọn máa bọ̀. So kó lọ kó máa àṣàǹpẹ̀ tóun bá jẹ́ pé òun náà ṣá máa lead wọn níwájú tá máa rí òun náà ẹnu ní gbogbo àjọ wà. All right, later. All right. So ẹni tó bá ń believe ọmọ Saheed ọmọ Bọ̀tà ẹni tó súnmọ́ mi dáadáa ni ẹ̀gbọ́n mi bàbá 419 gidi ni àwọn another 419 ni wọ́n ló fi lọ kó àwọn kan wọlé kó lọ kó àwọn ọmọ ọ̀gbọ́n wa àwọn ọmọ ọ̀gbọ́n ló fi lọ kó wà kó wá dalẹ̀ Yorùbá rú. So anyway ìyẹn kan ni mo bá wà láàárọ̀ my focus is I am very, very pressed with time. 10 o'clock, that's it. So, what I just want to off us at the back, ni pé Tinubu ṣetán ní 2007. Gbogbo tó sọ fún àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n jọ prepare àwọn bàbá àwọn colleagues ẹ̀ ní UK tó jọ ṣe meeting nígbà tó fẹ́ lọ di governor nígbà tó débẹ̀ ìtòhùn ló ń ṣe. Ìtòhùn ló ń ṣe àwọn bàbá kan wọ́n tún padà sí London ni. Because ó yẹ kó fún àwọn kan ní slot bó ṣe ń ṣe láyé ló ń ṣe lọ́run gbogbo àwọn tọ́jọ́ ṣe wàhálà kò fún wọn ní slot yẹn nígbà tó dé kó mọ́ tó di governor ó wá di pé àwọn tọ́jọ́ mọ̀ tó bá ti lọ bá kò ní dá wọn lóhùn ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sá fún wọn because kí ni ó ti ní agbára lọ́wọ́ bí wọn bá dẹ̀ ti lágbára ní tó bá wọn ló lè ṣe as at that time because it was the governor but kí ló ṣe nígbà tó ṣe tán lára àwọn tó build ó train àwọn kan lábẹ́ nígbà tó ń ṣe governor because ó mọ̀ dájú pé òun ò lè continue as a governor after tó bá ṣe 8 years tán what he did ó gbé Fáṣọlá wọlé àwọn èèyàn like Fáṣọlá bàjẹ́ ìyẹn náà ní another charismatics because bí Elédùmarè ṣe dá gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá nìyẹn gbogbo wa la ní brain kò sọmọ Yorùbá kan tó wà káàkiri àgbáyé tí kò ní strength tí kò ní capacity a máa end ilé Ọláyọmí Kóìkì sódà kó tó di kókó fún rẹ̀ so ẹ lọ join lórí kíní sọ fún yín tẹ́lẹ̀ we need more phones. So about in low phone. Because the Leon by charging taban low. They're not charging modular. So why we are discussing this now is because when we are now saying we want the right to self-determination, whether Tinubu likes it or not, a communication has already been sent to him. And that communication is the reason why Baba Akintoye máa ń jáde ní gbogbo ìgbà pé inti Dúpẹ́ ń ṣe kò ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú àwa. Ó operate tiẹ̀ as another entity. Kò ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú Yoruba nation movement táwa gbé dání. Though agbésíta, because nobody knows that before. Kò sẹ́ni tó mọ jérò ẹ̀. Kò sẹ́ni tó mọ jérò Dúpẹ́ Onítìrí, the virus woman. Àwa la promoted under the leadership of Professor Banji Akintoye. Ó máa ń sọ nígbà kan pé wọ́n ní wọ́n promote òun. Yes, I promoted because òun sọ pé ó ní CNN lọ́wọ́, ó ní Al Jazeera lọ́wọ́, ó ṣe lọ lò wọ́n. Ó ṣe lọ lò àwọn CNN yẹn. Okay, ó tẹ̀ sọ pé ó declare. So Al Jazeera ò lè interview ẹ. Even gan nígbà tó fẹ́ ṣe campaign ní 2015. No international media kankan no campaign against it. I have checked you out. I go back and look at Ono ṣe interview pẹ̀lú CNN. Bring that interview out because I'm pé nígbà tí wọ́n mú Anko Abiola, àmọ́ àwọn ìyàwó Abiola tó appear lórí CNN. Mo ti wo gbogbo rí ẹni tó bá dẹ̀ ní tó bá yẹ pé rọ́ ni mo pa ẹ send sí mi. Ó sọ fún wa pé ní orí ìjìnlẹ̀ tẹjọ́ ń parọ́ fúnra yín pé wọ́n ní ọmọ wọ́n dẹ̀ máa sọ pé àwa la promote kò sẹ́ni tó mọ jérò ẹ lẹ́niwẹ̀. Ó ní yẹn pé ṣọ́fì pé o náwọn media níta tó jẹ́ àwọn international media mò ń bẹ̀ ni fún mi ní líǹkì one of those media tó interview ẹ̀ níta tó jẹ́ CNN tó jẹ́ Al Jazeera even tó jẹ́ BBC Yorùbá ní Nàìjíríà fúnra rẹ̀. You're lying. So kò sẹ́ni kankan tó mọ jérò ẹ̀ àwa tí àrọ́rá ń pariwo níwọ̀n báyìí tí mo sọ pé 2% ni mo dẹ̀ ṣe máa dúró de 2% ni because Ìgbòho ti ṣe 5%. The remaining 3% tó kù ó wà lọ́wọ́ ọba ó dẹ̀ wà lọ́wọ́ àwọn Yorùbá politician. Àwọn nìkan ni wọ́n dá wa dúró nísìn because táwọn bá ti lè accept ìtagbé dání but wọ́n ò lè accept it in advance nítorí pé vision Tinubu pé òun ò believe in one Nigeria ìyẹn ti change because Tinubu ti di governor ní 1999 ti dé 2007 so ó ti rí taste pé yes interlation nísìn ni pé a máa wá push lọ sí presidency but èmi dẹ̀ sọ fún yín pé presidency Tinubu ó ní expiry date 2027 ni tó bá máa parí ní 2027 ó máa jáde á tún wá béèrè fún another 4 years but wọ́n bí dánimọ̀ sọ after 2031 kó sọ fún north pé mo fẹ́ mú candidate kan jáde. Bọ́lá Tinubu ò ní power yẹn mọ́ ó lè ní òun náà ní candidate tiẹ̀ o but òun kọ́ ló máa impose lórí àwọn north and everybody knows pé as much as a sọ pé àwa ni 3 major ethnic groups Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo. Now tí a bá wá ń ṣe gbogbo yẹn lọ between Hausa àti Yoruba àwọn Igbo wá ń kọ́ so ìtorí pé I like Igbo but nígbà tí wọ́n máa fún wa ní Nàìjíríà àwa mẹ́ta ló gbélé lọ́wọ́ náà wọ́n gbélé àwọn tó kù lọ́wọ́ because àwa ni àwọn mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta yẹn àwọn 3 ethnic groups yẹn ni the biggest ethnic groups in Nigeria Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo. So àní kò yé jábọ́ sẹ́ ní sùúrù ló ń pọn lójú tó ń jábọ́ lẹ́mẹ̀wàá àbọ́lọ̀ mọ̀ yé yín nísìn. So kí ni mò ń try láti fàyọ èyí tí mò ń fàyọ ni pé if we are saying that okay fair enough àwa àti accept pé nísìn àwa là ń enjoy presidency lọ nísìn níjọ́ wo ni Igbo máa enjoy presidency because I do not see them because àwọn north the northern part of Nigeria hate the Igbo so much because wọ́n believe pé wọ́n pa àwọn èèyàn wọn nígbà gbogbo 1960 whatever yẹn gbogbo ilẹ̀ ìmọ̀tàn yẹn I don't want to go into all those details but my point is that those of us at home tana and ṣe Yoruba nation kò sí any reason tí Bọ́lá Tinubu ṣe gbọ́dọ̀ máa lé wa káàkiri kò ní right kankan láti lé anybody mú kò ní gbogbo ẹni mo fi sọ kò ṣe pé torí pé mò ń gbé ní outside the country nítorí pé òun náà wá gba safety ní UK ni èmi ò wá sí UK nísìnyí wá gba safety èmi wá as a person nítorí pé Nàìjíríà ti collapse ni mo sì tèmi ṣe gbé mi wọlé bí tó gbé Bọ́lá Tinubu wọ London ni pé ó sá fún àsálà ẹ̀mí ẹ̀ kó má bàa pa torí tó bá jẹ́ pé wọ́n rí pa ni kò ní ṣe tó ń ṣe lẹ́yìn náà so òun ṣe fẹ́ wá lè wá pa wá nítorí pé à ń ṣe Yorùbá nation kẹ́rí pé kò make sense now ṣé okay nísìn torí pé à ń ṣe Yorùbá nation nísìn kọ́mọ Luka sá kúrò Nàìjíríà kí bàbá Èkìtì sá kúrò kí Masbi sá kúrò kí Lady K sá kúrò mọ́mí wọn Ọbásanjọ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n bàbá wa Abíọ́dún Chapel Yonkan àti gbogbo àwọn tó wà ní Nàìjíríà ṣé torí pé nísìn pé wọ́n ń pariwo Yorùbá nation tí Bọ́lá Tinubu wà níbẹ̀ ká wá sá lọ ìyẹn ò lè work kò lè work mo ò fẹ́ fi gbogbo ẹnu sọ̀rọ̀ ni bọ̀ gbogbo alámọ̀ pé tó bá dán wò ó máa dán tán fact là ń sọ fún yín bọ̀ kó má dàbí ìgbà tẹ́ pé Koiki bó ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí ó tún fẹ́ máa dàbí ìgbà tí yàn wà violent gbogbo ẹni mo fi sọ kò lè because in tóun náà sá fún níjọ́ náà lọ́ọ̀ ni pé wọ́n fẹ́ pa ló ṣe òkè tí UK ò bá fún access pé kó wá jókòó sí bíbá nǹkan so nísìn tó bá ti pé torí à ń ṣe Yorùbá nation nísìn kó wá lé gbogbo àwọn yẹn kúrò ní Nàìjíríà torí pé òun but at the end of the day òun náà máa ní expiry time but one thing is ìyẹn la ṣe ń sọ fáwọn tó wà ní pé nísìn tí Tinubu ti débẹ̀ yes gbogbo ìtàn sọ tẹ́lẹ̀ wọ́n fẹ́ kí Tinubu débẹ̀ ní kíníkan advantage náà ló jẹ́ kò sí kankan tó ní advantage ó máa ní disadvantage bí ẹ̀yin ò ṣe ní secondary school torí pé ní secondary school tèmi lọ ní Abẹ́òkúta grammar school tàbá ti nǹkan kan máa kọ advantage wà tún kọ disadvantage ẹ̀ bread lélẹ̀ nísìn bó ṣe wà yín nísìn ó ní advantage ó ní disadvantage báwọn kan tún ṣe rí wá ní Koiki Obama máa jẹ white bread brown bread kó máa jẹ so kò sí nínú ayé yìí gbogbo nǹkan ló ní advantage and disadvantage so ọ̀rọ̀ pé Tinubu débẹ̀ advantage kan ló jẹ́ ó wá kù sí bó ṣe fẹ́ lo advantage yẹn fún mission ní táwa ń béèrè fún but àwọn ò ní wá jókòó tatarata pé Tinubu ti débẹ̀ Jagaban no our job is to continue to ask him pé tó o bá tẹ rántí pé o ní o believe in one Nigeria but I hope you are remembering that under the rule of international law tí Nigeria náà sign fún because the reason why Nigeria is under the United Nations is because Nigeria accepted everything tó wà lábẹ́ United Nations even though as it is right now àìtí mọ ẹsẹ̀ tó ń gbé ó sì rọra ń gbé ẹsẹ̀ yẹn ni ẹ̀mọ̀ pé òun náà ṣẹ̀dé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni so Tinubu gan ra ń gbé ẹsẹ̀ yẹn báyìí ó ń gbé lẹ́ẹ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan but until tó bá gbé àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ kan la máa rí pé okay and kí ni the first ìgbésẹ̀ Nnamdi Kanu case ó gbọ́dọ̀ yanjú ẹ̀ it's a fact ṣẹ́rí pé ká má máa sọ̀rọ̀ Nnamdi Kanu pẹ̀lú Yorùbá nation it's a lie kẹ má máa ní Koiki torí ẹ̀ like forget about gbogbo wàhálà tó ń dálẹ̀ ní South East Nnamdi Kanu is a man that must be reviewed by the present government but mo understand pé Tinubu ṣẹ̀dé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni so ó ṣe ọ̀rá ń gbé ẹsẹ̀ agbọ́kọ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ mọ ta ló fẹ́ jẹ́ AGF Attorney General of the Federation because Attorney General of the Federation is the one that helps the government of Nigeria not the SGF AGF ni mo sọ nísìn tó bá mo tán pè ní AGF Attorney General of the Federation the last person there was Malami olórí burúkú Malami knew that in tí wọ́n ṣe láti lọ kidnap Nnamdi Kanu wá it was wrong tó wọn bá tẹ̀ wá mọ̀ ṣé bàbá Ọ̀ṣínbàjò I mean, sometimes I wonder how Ọ̀ṣínbàjò allowed himself to be used because it was under the leadership of Ọ̀ṣínbàjò that they went to kidnap. Ṣé Ọ̀ṣínbàjò máa know wọ́n tán pè ní rendition ni? Ṣé Ọ̀ṣínbàjò mọ̀wé jù mí lọ now? Ọ̀ṣínbàjò was a professor at a particular age ní lifetime. Ọ̀ṣínbàjò is a very brilliant lawyer. But at the end of the day, ó jẹ́ káwọn Fúlàní kọ́ rope ẹ̀bọ nonsense. I told him 2 years ago, mo náà ẹ kó resign. Wàá resign, wàá dẹ̀ wá jókòó sí London. Wàá fún ẹ ní protection, but irọ́. Nítorí pé wọ́n promise Ọ̀ṣínbàjò pé ó máa jẹ president. Tinubu wá sọ pé láyé kàkà kó jẹ president. Màá ná gbogbo tó ìyẹn ní Tinubu ṣe pé a máa dìbò, a máa wọlé, ẹ̀ bá change owó, ẹ̀ bá gbé epo pamọ́ because wọ́n fẹ́ fi rubbish Tinubu kò mí pé torí pé àwọn endorse ẹ̀. Nítorí pé wọ́n promise Ọ̀ṣínbàjò. Ọ̀ṣínbàjò was a very stupid man. And I'm not sorry to say that. He's a very stupid man. Tẹ́yìn ọmọ ẹ̀ bá ń wò mí, bàbá yín stupid because first and foremost, ó believe àwọn Fúlàní against àwọn clan tiẹ̀ tó ń pè ní clan. Àwa ọmọ Yorùbá clan CLAN. tó bá tẹ̀ disagree pẹ̀lú Tinubu tó jẹ́ kó gbé jáde pé òun fẹ́ contest pẹ̀lú Tinubu kò jẹ́ kó tẹ̀ jáde rárá pé òun fẹ́ contest pẹ̀lú Tinubu torí by now Tinubu ò bá tẹ̀ wá fàmọ́ra pé ó da àwọn nǹkan wà tó ti ṣe mo rò pé nígbà tí máa fi ẹ́ síbẹ̀ iṣẹ́ tèmi ló máa ṣe òṣìṣẹ́ tèmi mọ́ ó lọ ṣiṣẹ́ Buhari àṣírí kan dẹ̀ wà láàrin gbogbo wọn ní àṣírí yẹn èmi ò mọ̀ kò ń ṣàṣírí pé Buhari ti kú nìkan là ń sọ yìí oríṣiríṣi àṣírí government ó máa ń ní àṣírí oríṣiríṣi bí government ti wá níbà náà àṣírí máa ń wà so àṣírí yẹn àwọn àṣírí kan wà tó yẹ kí Ọ̀ṣínbàjò máa reveal padà fún Tinubu bọ̀ kò reveal ẹ̀ fún Tinubu wá wò pé ọmọ ní sùúrù náà ó bọ̀bọ̀ yìí kò sẹ́ni tó mọ̀ ẹ́ náà èmi mo lọ fẹ́ jáde nígbà tí mo dé ní 1999 tí wọ́n sọ fún mi pé bọ̀bọ̀ kan wà professor ni senior advocate of Nigeria orí ẹ pé bí adájọ́ Ṣómólú ó yẹ bá a máa mú bọ̀ ó dẹ̀ fi Ọ̀ṣínbàjò ó fi mọ́ra gbogbo atrocity tí Tinubu commit ní Lagos State Ọ̀ṣínbàjò ló bá parẹ́ ó wá lókè jẹ́ ń gbé ẹ lọ federal jẹ́ ń gbé ẹ lọ trabayé ó wá gbé lọ trabayé tán Ọ̀ṣínbàjò wá débẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣínbàjò ọmọ bíbá yìí náà sweet o kò wá fún Tinubu padà mọ́ ní feedback ó di pé òun náà fẹ́ ṣe kí ni only ambition tiẹ̀ but ibi tí mo fẹ́ lò kọ́ nìyẹn so this pé ẹ̀yin ọmọ tẹ́ ń pariwo Yorùbá nation ẹ lọ jókòó síbi no shut up òmùgọ̀ ni wọ́ Tinubu ní London ó grant interview pé I don't believe in Nigeria tó bá jẹ́ pé Abacha òkú ni èmi máa bá Tinubu ní 1998 èmi dé louis because bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ṣe ń dé èmi ò mọ̀ gbà tó ń padà sí Nàìjíríà mo mọ̀ exact time tí Tinubu padà sí Nàìjíríà but èmi dé ní September just before the end of the year so I have left Nigeria even before you started the 1999 campaign èmi ti kúrò ní Nàìjíríà but tó bá yẹ pé Abacha òkú ni tí Abacha ṣì wà níbẹ̀ Abacha ṣì máa ṣe in tó ń ṣe lọ ni ṣebí Pope wá bá Abacha náà Pope bóyá ṣe àmọ́ Pope ó wá bá Abacha pé Abacha ṣe díẹ̀díẹ̀ Abacha kò dá gbogbo èèyàn lóhùn but nítorí pé Abacha padà kú wọ́n gbéjọba fún interim government ìjọba fìdí hẹ́ ṣónẹ́kàn òun náà ti kú nísìn kóhun àti bàbá God kọjá máa lọ yanjú ẹ̀ lọ́hùn. How long have I done? Because I gotta start winding down now. 57 minutes. Okay. Still have a few more minutes. So, Tinubu returned back. And the rest is history. But the question now is, how do we communicate with him? Hey! Àwọn ìyá Ayọ̀ Brown tí kò lè lọlé. Bí àyà ìgò bí ẹ̀kọ́ tẹ̀ ní ìwé kan sef. Because tó bá ní ìwé ni, ẹni ti gba country, ẹ̀yin kan jókòó sí Dublin. Ìwọ kan jókòó sí America, ìwọ kan jókòó sí Turkey, ìyẹn kan jókòó sí London. Ẹ máa ń sọ fáwọn tó wà nípa ti gba country, gbogbo yẹn fàbúní gbogbo yẹn. Kí ló dé wá ṣe? Hey, bàbá Akíntóyè, ó ń kó yín lọ bá Tinubu ní. Hey, Tinubu. Yeah, okay, ó ń kó yín lọ bá Tinubu. Ṣé Tinubu máa wà níbẹ̀ forever ni? Ṣé Tinubu máa wà níbẹ̀ forever? No, Tinubu is only going to be there for a particular limited time. So tá bá tẹ̀ kó yín lọ fún Tinubu, so does that mean pé tá bá tí Tinubu wá ṣe tán? So gbogbo akọ ní sí ní same problem. Tabade kó wá lọ fún Tinubu, quote and unquote, even for argument's sake. Pé akọyin lọ bá Tinubu, ṣé kò ní jẹ́ advantage tó bá máa rí lò délẹ̀. Táwọn onílẹ̀ bá kó sí nínú, táwọn bá sọ̀rọ̀. Torí pé àwọn mẹ́ta péré tó kù tó ń dárin àjò ìdúró, àwọn ni politicians yín, àwọn ọba àti gbogbo àwọn tó ń pè ní gbogbo ọba kékeré ni ọba ńlá ni. Ẹ lè expect kí Elégùṣì jáde ní sí kó máa sọ pé òun support Yorùbá nation nígbà tó yẹ pé Tinubu ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún. Ẹ lè expect kí Olúwo jáde ní sí kó máa sọ pé òun máa endorse Yorùbá nation nígbà tó yẹ pé abẹ́ Tinubu lọ́wọ́. Ṣèbí Tinubu lọ sí Ọ̀ṣun state tó sọ pé òun lówó jọba lọ tó yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Ṣé ó normal kí politician máa sọ pé òun ní owó ju ọba lọ? Ọba ló yẹ kó ní gbogbo nǹkan náà, but it doesn't work like that anymore. So at this stage, see, whether they like it or not, we are not fighting the government as the bandit. We are not fighting the government as a Boko Haram. We are not fighting the government as a terrorist. We are demanding that the government listen to us. Just as Tinubu was telling the world, communicate the technology then is different from now. Tinubu náà ìbá pé gbogbo yín tẹ́ wà ní Nàìjíríà níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn nísìlẹ̀ ṣe mọ̀ pé Tinubu gan sọ pé wọn ò believe in one Nigeria because níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn èèyàn mélòó ló máa ráyè. Even in exile, he has remained one of the most consistent pro-democracy activists, despite 2 treason charges still hanging on his neck. How has it been since he fled the country some 2 years ago? What is the state of the pro-democracy groups in London? In his house in London, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu spoke with Ayo Arowolo on these issues and many excerpts. And in the official line, I don't believe in Nigeria. So, kí ló wá fẹ́ fa gbómi ò tó pé ìtorí Tinubu ní sì ti wá di president. Àwa kan tí a wà lábẹ́ bàbá Professor Emeritus Oracle Adébánjí Akíntóyè, lá abẹ́ bàbá wa Adébánjí Bánjí Ayílóge, lábẹ́ ìtọ́npè ní YSDN. Abẹ́ Koiki Media kọ́ ni gbogbo wa wà. Koiki Media ni media tó wà lára àwọn media tó ń pariwo pé sẹ́ ìran Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ bọ́. Èmi kọ́ ni lead, but yes, we are part of the movement. So this pé mo ní a máa jà confirm èmi ò rule yẹn out. Kò sí òyìnbó kan tó lè mú mi fún yẹn. Kò sí interrogation kan tó bá pè mí fún lẹ́ni nísìn. BMI5 bá pè mí á sọ fún pé yes, a máa jà gidi. Tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá tètè yanjú tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí, ó máa dìjà gboro gidi. But kó tó dìjà gboro yẹn, a kọ́kọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ exhaust gbogbo tó ń pè ní diplomacy. Even especially when we have him there now. It's a fact. Okay, nígbà tí à ń sọ fún Tony Blair pé kó má kó wa lọ sí Iraq, kó wa lọ sí Iraq ni. Do you know how many millions of people came out láti wá protest? Tony Blair sọ pé Gaddafi àbí Saddam Hussein rather ó ní chemical weapon tó lè fi pa gbogbo èèyàn. Tó bá launch it, eventually is lies. But in táwa fi sọ pé a máa jà ní pé tí a bá exhaust gbogbo ẹ̀ tó bá wáyé, then how the gas goes? Ó dẹ̀ máa affect gbogbo ìlú tó ń bá Nàìjíríà ṣe, but kó má bá affect gbogbo ìlú. Ó ti di dandan pé kí government kí ni kó listen. I'm going to read this out again just as we are about to bring the program to an end. Orúkọ tèmi ni Ọlá Yomi Koiki, because I have 1 hour exactly and I need to start winding down because it's a Wednesday. It's always a busy day for me. So, Baba Akintoye kọ lẹ́tà sí Tinubu. Ẹ tún farabalẹ̀ ká jọ gbọ́. Ní May 30, a day after it was inaugurated, àwa náà dúró ní ẹ tètè gbé fún, tá bá ti gbé fún kálẹ̀. Àfi direct lẹ́tà sí Buhari mọ́. Buhari is no longer in power. Ẹni tó wà nínú power la máa bá sọ̀rọ̀. Bá ṣe ń bá Tinubu sọ̀rọ̀, la máa bá àwọn governor sọ̀rọ̀, whether they like it or not, because it is their responsibility to listen to us at this stage. And while they are listening to us, wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ ṣètò fún yín láti protect yín, wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ protect yín, wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ provide fún yín, wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ fún yín ní safety. Torí pé reason tí wọ́n ṣe ń pa yín lójoojúmọ́ is because there is no security. So I expect Tinubu ní sí pé kó sọ fún NSA àti Chief of Defence pé gbogbo àwọn Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn ẹ train wọn dáadáa, ẹ gbé AK-47 ní wọ́n. Kò ṣe pé kó fi paráàlú, but kó fi máa deal pẹ̀lú àwọn terrorists tó ń bẹ nínú igbó wa láti pa wọ́n sílẹ̀. Kó pa wọ́n kó di fertilizer sínú igbó mọ́bẹ̀. That is what I expect him to do, and I hope he's doing that. Tó bá sọ yẹn síta, I hope Tinubu is doing that. Torí pé kíni Buhari refuse láti jẹ́ kó hàmù àwọn Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn. Báwo lẹ ṣe máa gbé double barrel fún Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn níbi tí Boko Haram ń lo GMPG. Mọ̀ tán pè ní GMPG. Wọ́n lo RPG. Ẹ̀yin wá ń gbé double barrel fún wọn. So wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ train wọn ní gbogbo barracks kankan, kó appoint èèyàn kan tó máa kó àwọn Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn síbẹ̀. Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn tó bá dẹ̀ ti fi ń oppress aráàlú, ẹ detain ẹ kẹ́ fi sínú prison, kó wà nínú prison forever. Torí pé Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn iṣẹ́ tiyín ni pé kẹ́ protect wa. A fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation kò mí pé a máa fi àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ kan sílẹ̀. Ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ protect ìlú ní. That is the purpose of the government. Iṣẹ́ government nìyẹn. Kò ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú àwọn táwọn sọ pé a fẹ́ Yorùbá nation. Koiki wọ́n ti pa yín ní bíbá, wọ́n pẹ́ kó tó pa yín, ẹ lọ bá governor yín. Tó bá ti pa yín, ẹ lọ máa protest níwájú governor. Right yín ni. Àbákọ́lá máa ní káwọn ọmọ kan wá wọnú gbọ́, ọmọ kankan wọnú gbọ́ fún anybody. Tó bá pa yín, wọ́n pa yín gbé nìyẹn. Tẹ́ ẹ bá ti lè jáde láti lọ bèrè ẹ̀tọ́ yín lọ́wọ́ governor. Ṣíkẹ́ná, problem in here, kò ṣe problem tiwa. But àwa gbọ́dọ̀ máa highlight it continuously pé ẹ̀yin governor responsibility yín ni pé kẹ́ provide security fáwọn ọmọ wa. Ẹ provide security fáwọn families wa. Ẹ provide security tí economy Nigeria ò bá tẹ̀ dá. Ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ fún wọn ní security. And now tẹ́tí ní access sí òkè and make use of it. But gbogbo nǹkan ló ní expiry date o. On this historical occasion of the inauguration of our beloved brother, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, I, Professor Banji Akintoye, the Chairman of the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, for and on behalf of the overwhelming majority of the Yoruba people, home and in diaspora, worldwide, who seek self-determination, who seek self-determination, who seek self-determination and the sovereignty of the Yoruba nation, deeply and sincerely rejoice with our brother on the fulfillment of his political ambitions to preside over the affairs of the Nigerian state. Exactly 8 years ago, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, energetic and a sincere and dedicated assistant to another Nigerian citizen, enabled that citizen to rise to the same position of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Nigeria. Therefore, none of all citizens of Nigeria cannot say that he does not deserve the same elevation for himself today. Indeed, his elevation to the presidency of Nigeria, against all odds that we Nigerians are painfully familiar with, and against all the man-made contortion of order that characterize Nigeria, demonstrated clearly the tenacity of the spirit that characterized his political careers. These man-made contortion of order demonstrate the fundamental bankruptcy and the essential non-sustainability of the Nigerian state, which our brother must now lead. It is particularly noteworthy that all the electoral cycle under the successfully fraudulent constitution of Nigeria since 1959 have ended up unutterably in controversies that are irresolvable and that are ultimately never resolved. That same scenario remains with us till today. Nigeria stands at this moment in a devastating pain of an unresolved nationality problem. As a highly perspective leader of another African country remarked recently, the nations of Nigeria hate one another, and the hatred has steadily escalated since independence. And yet, the political leaders of Nigeria strangely chooses to keep Nigeria as one country today. Today, Nigerians stand at a grave moment when the nationality problem and the hatred have been fearfully aggravated by the decision and effort of one of the Nigerian nation, the Fulani nation, to conquer, break, and subjugate to all other nations in Nigeria. We stand at the grave moment when there will be conqueror nation is still killing, maiming, destroying, still seeking to make Nigeria the bloodiest war zone on the African continent. We have experienced full 8 years during which there will be conqueror nation has enjoyed total freedom to carry out its invasions, killings, destroying across the face of Nigeria while enrolling the services of foreign terrorist organizations in the invasion, all with very obvious complicity by the government and the security forces of Nigeria. With very loudly an announced invitation by the President of Nigeria to non-Nigerians to come migrating from all Africa to Nigeria without any travel document. Huge masses of hostile non-Nigerians, all ethnic kinsmen of the would-be conqueror nation, have been assisted to flood into Nigeria in order to reinforce the nation conquest of Nigeria. We, Yoruba, have lost an estimated 29,000 of Yoruba people to these rampages. Countless Yoruba women have suffered the degradation of being raped by the invaders. Famine have been destroyed in the large swaths of the Yoruba farmland, and our whole Yoruba nation now faces the danger of devastating famine. In fact, there will be conqueror nation once embark on a loudly proclaimed effort to starve the whole of the Yoruba nation by blocking the Lokoja bridge for days against the trucks that were transporting foodstuff to the Yoruba southwest in Nigeria. Middle Belt, and again without the government of Nigeria raising a finger against the crime. But these are not all that the Yoruba people have suffered in Nigeria, ever intensifying cauldron of the inter-people's hatred under a system of limited government and federalism in the decade preceding Nigeria independence in 1960. We Yorubas achieved such a great development and modernization that made our region a pace setter in modernization, not only in Nigeria, but also in Africa. We instituted the first free education program in Africa, built the longest mileage of modern highways, the most urban water supply project, the first industrial estate with an ambitious industrialization program, the only investment capital structure with holdings in industry, banking, real estate, commerce, many large plantation producing crops for industry, various skills and development centers for our youth. But Nigerian culture of inter-people's hatred has almost totally destroyed all of these, though Yoruba people were confidently living in growing prosperity by 1960. Most Yoruba people now belong in Nigeria, horrible culture of poverty, which is growing worse and worse. Yoruba educated youth confronted by the Nigeria hopelessness are fleeing abroad at a terrifying rate, thereby creating a serious threat that their Yoruba nation could perish in Nigeria. Against this background, we Yoruba people remain fiercely convinced of the reality of the non-sustainability of the Nigerian state as a vehicle for galvanizing, translating the inherent creative energies of our people, the Yoruba people, into a developmental trust again. We are determined that the bottled up Yoruba creativity must be released so as to generate the impetus to reenact the historical dynamism for which our Yoruba nation was famed in the past. The more the Yoruba nation remains stuck into and trapped in the vortex of the Nigerian trash machine, the more stagnated and backward we Yoruba will become. Accordingly, we Yoruba people state categorically that the political realities of one Yoruba man presidency over Nigeria cannot possibly alter the continued bondage and retrogression of the Yoruba people in the cauldron of the heavily devalued Nigeria state. The Yoruba nation will never submit itself to its unending citizenship in Nigeria that is irretrievably held in a deep dungeon of more and more poverty and hopelessness. Therefore, we Yoruba nation reaffirmed our decision to negotiate with Nigeria the creation of our own and separate autonomous political and economic space outside the framework of the now illegitimate Nigerian state. We Yoruba have repeatedly stated these in our letters and petitions to the United Nations Organization, as well as the various governments of the world, including the Nigerian government. In particular, we have stated as follows above all: we Yoruba concluded irrevocably that the agenda of war of conquest and subjugation by one nation that is part of Nigeria against the other nations of Nigeria, and the said nation's invitation to foreign terrorist organization to become and help to wage war against the other nation of Nigeria, or with the obvious complicity of the federal government of Nigeria, have idiotically violated, conclusively eliminated the unity and the legitimacy of Nigeria as one country. We Yoruba have therefore concluded that we have the legitimate right and the duty to separate our Yoruba nation from Nigeria. We Yoruba are prepared to attain these goals through negotiations with the Nigerian government, either on a bilateral basis, that is between our Yoruba nation and also the government of Nigeria, or on a multilateral basis that brings all or most of the constituent stakeholders in the failed Nigeria project around one negotiating table. We have stated this in various ways to the federal government of Nigeria, and these communications of ours to the Nigerian federal government remain our firm, unalterably demands to the Nigerian state. In conclusion of this statement, we Yoruba applaud the noble assurance which our brother, the new president of Nigeria, uttered in his inaugural address. We refer to the following statement in his address. Our administration shall govern on your behalf, but never rule over you. We shall consult and dialogue, but never dictate. We shall reach out to all, but never put down a single person for holding views contrary to our own. We, his kinsmen, thank you, Mr. President, for this typically Yoruba assurance. Professor Adebanji Akintoye, the leader and the chairman of the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement. And on that note, I say thank you so much to each and everyone that have joined us. And that will be about it this morning. Have a very great day, and bye for now.
Nation.
Have a great afternoon. Bye for now.